Hi, I'm Mohammad Ali. Welcome to I Am Foodventurist, first episode of the podcast. Today with us, joining us, Chef Vignesh Ramachandran and Chef Tushar Sood. So we've been associated for close to around 9 years. We did a pop-up close to 9 years ago here in Chennai, here in Food Consulate. So after that, we had the opportunity to stay connected, and right now they're joining us today here. And over to them.
Hi, I'm Tushar Sood. I've been a professional chef for about 13 years now. And in that time, I got to run some and work at some amazing restaurants all over the country, like Indian Accent, Cafe Lota, Toast and Tonic in Bangalore. And now I run my own underground diner called Gorilla Diner, which does like weekly drops and is completely only on Instagram at the moment, not even like a cloud kitchen.
Hi, I'm Vignesh. So I've been a chef for about 10 years now. I used to work with Indian Accent as well. That's where I met Tushar. So currently I run a couple of restaurants in Hyderabad, Once Upon a Time and Oya, based out of Chennai. And I'm currently working on a couple more to open soon.
We've been thinking a lot about doing road trips in terms of some of the unexplored parts of down south. So when we spoke to Chef Vignesh said that with his experience in and around Hyderabad and the Andhra belt, we thought we'll take the Kolkata highway, which leads through that particular belt, and explore some of the spaces which he said that is some of the best. So then we had Chef Tushar looped into the particular program. Both of them are very good friends, and of course I had the opportunity to work with them. And when Tushar came, I thought it'll add a different perspective in terms of how the South Indian perspective is there, as opposed to someone who's not exposed much to the South Indian perspective of this particular rice and meats and such. So Chef Vignesh, what was your thought on that?
Pretty much the same, like how I said, we didn't want to do anything typical of any Chennai road trip. Was always towards all our popular Tamil Nadu food destinations. We said, why not? I mean, Andhra is quite close by, we're practically neighbors. About 2 hours from here, Nellore was there. So we thought we'll do Nellore, Guntur, Vijayawada. Again, as I said, Hyderabad, every restaurant, Telugu restaurant in Hyderabad always spoke about Nellore is where their roots are from, or where their ancestors are from, or where Vijayawada is where they learned to cook and all of that. So the epicenter was always around these three cities. And I really didn't know Guntur and Vijayawada were so close also. I always thought it was two different districts. It was hardly 15-20 minutes away from each other. So we said, okay, why not? This is a new thing to explore. And we didn't aim it to be a biryani food tour. We wanted it to be a food tour where we can explore, but I think the love for biryani from us, for me, and South India itself loving biryani. Every top restaurant was always known for biryani. So ultimately every second restaurant was a biryani place, or at least was known for something unique. So it was just one biryani feast on and on for 2-3 days of just multiple biryanis, but so many varieties of biryani. Nowhere did we have the same biryani twice that we had to even compare saying which one was better. It was, everything was so unique. So it was one different versions that we were having. So that was great. We started with Nellore. So I think we went to Riaz pot biryani first. Nellore, they're famous because they used to serve the biryani in pot. So always people used to say pot biryani. Because they had a big pot which could feed about 7-8 people. I think this was the early bucket biryani. So it was pot biryani is what they were known for. And then I think we started quite early, and we were there 10-15 minutes before the dum could be opened. So I think
the freshest biryani.
That's the best, I think, experience of eating biryani straight off a dum. So, and Tushar's first biryani experience.
So Chef Tushar, your first experience with Riaz, I mean, how was your particular experience in terms of exploring that particular type of biryani over there?
Just going to a very local biryani shop, that was because I don't eat, so I haven't really explored all the other shops. So that was the fact that you can get biryani at 11 o'clock in the morning and have it for breakfast was a very new experience. And apart from that, just the actual biryani was very different from what we have had. It, as Vignesh said, that, because it was, the dum had just opened, it was really fresh, the meat was almost like melting in our mouth, and with all the chutneys and everything, the whole experience came together really well. We also had a chicken fry there, which I personally think was as good as the biryani. Wow. The biryani is popular, but that chicken fry really went well with the biryani, because the biryani is quite mild. It's not heavy on spice, or how people think Andhra food is supposed to be unnecessarily or extra spicy.
Spicy.
That was our one thing that we realized throughout the trip.
Okay.
That Andhra food outside of Andhra is way spicier than how it is inside the state. Yeah.
But Riaz was very different that way, even for a guy from Chennai. The biryani was very similar.
Okay.
I think whatever biryani, I think we grew up as Chennai biryani, I think probably came from Nellore or we gave it to Nellore.
Probably.
So it was so close in sense it was that basmati, completely one colored biryani with like mutton.
So it didn't have multiple colors like your typical.
No, not like typically what a Hyderabad biryani. It's almost like our Bai biryani that we do in Chennai. What I grew up eating as a kid and all that. It was that biryani. Where it differentiated, I think, was the accompaniments. I've never had gongura chutney and pudina chutney.
Yeah, so I was a little bit taken back when Chef Tushar said that he had tried with the chutney.
Yeah, that's also. The table had 4 accompaniments.
Okay.
So you get one is a gongura pachadi of sorts. One was a pudina chutney, which was proper pudina chutney that you had to pair with the biryani. Then we had a salan.
Okay.
And then there was one more kurma kind of gravy that was there also. And then onions and all of that. But the biryani was very Chennai style, in the sense milder than even Chennai.
Okay.
Probably, and the meat was fall of the bone, rice. But I like the part that they were very clear. They're saying it'll take 15 minutes, it'll take 15 minutes.
Okay.
Wait, they wouldn't rush the dum just because 2-3 people were waiting.
So how old
for
is that particular restaurant, or does it have any cultural
as far as
significance?
we saw, I think it was easily a 40-50-year-old
Wow, okay,
restaurant. So it was, I think 80s something. Might have it in the video that we
One
shot.
of the institutions in Nellore.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So in Nellore, Riaz is like the place to go to, guys.
So we will try to actually try to pin the Google location in the description below. So in case you guys are traveling to that part or interested in visiting Riaz, you can always refer the description below here in the video.
Correct.
So after that, Chef, after Riaz, where did you guys head out to next?
After Riaz, we went to Mur Krishna.
Mur Krishna.
in
Mur
Nellore.
Krishna, I think, is easily a 70-80-year-old outlet. Like very, very iconic in Nellore.
Okay.
I think they're the OG restaurant in Nellore.
Okay.
I think started off as a sweet shop.
Okay.
We were
Which
supposed
again,
to start as a sweet, but it was also the only restaurant where we didn't eat biryani.
Correct.
I think in the whole trip, this
entire
was the
trip,
place
I
where
mean, they're
we
famous for their biryani, but what everybody had recommended was their chapala pulusu.
Okay.
Chapala
Fish.
pulusu is fish curry.
Fish curry. Okay.
Mean koram almost. Tamarind mean
Based,
koram.
okay.
So,
So they eat it with steamed rice, white
Steamed
rice?
rice, steamed
Okay.
rice.
Okay.
again, it was very cool because we had a phone in hand.
Ah.
They said, I just said, can I look at the kitchen? And they were very okay. So we just randomly entered the back doors, went up to the kitchen.
Okay.
So they just had a request not to film the kitchen, but I could go around, see the entire kitchen.
How the operation.
And for a restaurant that is 70, 80 year olds, it was quite clean.
Clean.
I mean, the back
As chefs,
end-
you guys will know what the hygiene standards are.
That's
in
what I'm
most
saying.
of the
So,
place, right?
as overall, there are a couple of places probably we thought not the greatest.
Not the greatest.
But Mur Krishna, for a legendary place with 70-year-old kitchens,
Okay.
I think the place was clean, neat. I mean, there was no hazards for sure there.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can safely eat with whatever we saw.
Your so-called critical control points, right?
Yeah, all the
None-
CCTVs were taken care of. There was no issues there at least.
Okay.
So
But
it was
the-
supposed to be a sweet shop. Initially, they're famous for the sweet shops.
Okay.
But then the chapala pulusu and we actually went there for a stuffed crab that they're very famous for.
Okay.
But apparently we should call them about a day in advance.
day
We
in
ordered
advance.
for pre-order. We didn't know that. So we reached there and then said, they said not there. So it's boneless crab stuffed back into the
Absolutely.
crab shell and served. It's supposed to be a delicacy. But the fish curry that we have, I think,
was amazing.
I think was
yeah.
easily the best fish
So
curry.
what
I've
fish
had.
was they using actually?
They used coromino. Coromino is maril or viral meat.
Viral meat. Okay.
Which is similar to eel, right? You were
Yeah, it's
explaining
called
that.
snakehead
Snakehead.
maril.
It's a snakehead
Yeah.
actually.
Snakehead. So it looks like an eel almost.
Yeah. So,
So
that's
it-
just a central bone. I
Central
think that's
one
easier,
bone.
much more.
Tamil
meatier.
Nadu they call it viral meat.
Viral meat.
Freshwater fish. Maril in English and then coromino in Telugu.
I think it was my first time having that. That was a very meaty,
Ah.
nice fish.
Correct. They served it without
But
the
that's a
bone
freshwater, right? I mean-
Freshwater fish.
Okay. Okay. I think with chefs it'll be a nightmare to clean freshwater fish because it's supposed to be much more slimier and much more
Slimier.
smellier when you guys
Smellier
are
than the usual
in
seafood.
the butchery. You
Seafood
guys
are a
are gonna
game.
do. Okay.
But this one maril has become so processed now that you can get non-smelly maril also.
Okay.
I think they're all grown. I don't think it's the naturally
Farm grown maril.
farm-grown maril
Yeah, yeah.
that I can get fillets based on the grammage that I'm saying also these
Absolutely,
days.
absolutely.
But that fish curry was probably one of the best we've
Fish
So you
had.
guys
curries
had
we've
steamed
had.
rice, fish curry, and
Fish
that's it.
curry, and then we
There
had
was
a
a
couple of
dish called-
recommendations which we shouldn't have taken, but it
Oh,
was nice.
okay.
So-
I mean, it was an Indo-Chinese dish that they said this is my
Okay.
best dish. We got
Okay.
one chicken royal, which
Yeah,
was
so chicken royale you can skip.
hybrid chili chicken that we
Or
got served.
65, but not as good. Like
I mean,
because
I think
we had
Mur
it with
Krishna
the
does
fish.
their
own stuff.
Andhra food much better.
But,
So I think the fish gravy was easily better than what most I've had in Hyderabad.
okay.
Better than the ones we make here in Chennai also. It was very, very
Absolutely.
good. Very, very good.
Absolutely.
Very balanced.
Very balanced. So after Mur Krishna, I mean, that was pretty much about
Then we
Mur
had to
Krishna.
jump into Mur Krishna Sweets also.
Oh, you jumped to
Yeah.
the sweet shop also.
So
Okay.
Mur Krishna Sweets, we picked up, I think, one of everything that we found interesting.
Okay.
And
Main
but they're
thing
most
was
famous
Malai
for
Khaja.
something called a Malai Khaja.
Malai Khaja. Okay.
Okay,
Which
so when we
is-
hear of it, I thought it's something else. So Malai Khaja, in essentially, I think Nellore guys might not like what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is a
It was like a
controversial
very,
opinion.
very good, I might repeat, very good gulab jamun.
Gulab jamun. It's
With
like a cousin of
stuff,
gulab
the
jamun.
filling inside.
No stuffing also.
No stuffing also.
Just
It was a
smashed
flattened-
gulab jamun.
Okay, like a cham cham actually.
It was round.
Round.
And flat.
Okay.
So it's almost looking like a badusha,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
but dark colored kala jamun kind.
Okay.
So it's so delicate that you can't even keep it though. Individually pack it in
Okay.
Give
plastic
it.
wraps and serve it. So it's just very, very delicate, very soft. Amazing gulab jamun.
Hey, if
Gulab.
that is going to make the Nellorians happy, I guess that's what
That's
makes
one
them.
thing. So I
makes
will
them
call it
happy.
Malai Khaja all my life,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
it's very nice. I
That's
mean,
our
I had it
discussion.
first in Hyderabad where we had to actually send it from here, but having it fresh there where probably it was made right
Yeah.
there was an unbelievable experience.
Chef
It was
Tushar,
very
I mean,
nice.
how are you with Indian sweets? I mean, you seem like a very fit guy. So do you enjoy sweets?
No,
or-
not fit. I'm gonna come off as like a weirdo because rice I mentioned I don't eat, but also I don't have much of a sweet tooth.
Okay.
Apart
okay.
from like certain sweets like motichur and gulab jamun.
Okay.
So when we went there, I also went with a nice mindset that I'm gonna try everything.
Okay.
That all the things that I think I don't like or don't eat, I'll
Okay.
try. And the sweets, especially the malai khaja, because I like gulab jamun
Okay.
in general. So we were discussing, and they're like, there is some difference between them, which is that it's a way more, I think, better done gulab jamun in a
Okay.
way. It's nice, softer, and this thing. But apart from that, we were also discussing the apricot delight was there. What other
No, it wasn't
sweets?
there. That is not there, but they were serving apricot.
But what
inside
about the
of it.
other popular Andhra dishes like putre luku or
They weren't really doing putrakilu. Other than that, they had multiple. They had like a kova, jangri, and
Okay.
We tried
things like that.
two, three
We
ones,
3-4 ones. We put out an entire box and we said we're going to try everything.
Okay.
But then it was not really the typical. They had kaja, they had marta kaja and all of that.
Okay.
So we tried, I think, everything. But putrakilu was not part of,
Okay.
or at least we didn't see it. Putrakilu is like this paper sweet that they make.
It's like fine beaten rice paper sheet folded over and over and over with
With
layers
ghee
of
and
butter
nuts
and sugar.
Okay.
So I think it's powdered sugar. If I'm not
Powdered
mistaken.
sugar, yeah, powdered
So
sugar
it's
and
like,
ghee inside.
Yeah, so probably probably in a 3-inch serving, you'll probably have 100-200 layers you'll have inside. So it's like a filo pastry kind of a
Correct.
thing,
But
made
much
with
thinner
rice.
than even filo,
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
pastry.
And they keep layering it like a babka.
Yeah.
They do that. So I
So
thought
that was one. I think that was Nellore. These two are the main places we wanted to go to. So we did Mur Krishna and Riaz and then hit the highway again towards Guntur.
So how was your road trip? I mean, you guys started from Chennai
Yeah,
and you guys headed off to Nellore,
correct.
and from there on you guys kept. So how was your trip?
That was nice. I think for some reason it was always well paced out, the
Okay.
cities. I mean, we
Never
did
felt
stuff
too
ourselves.
long or
So is it
because-
because of the research you guys have done that you were able to pace
Probably
it
because we planned it out in such a way. I mean, I've never planned a trip before in my life.
out? Okay.
For the
With
first
an
time, I had a
itinerary and
schedule
everything,
in my
yeah.
hand. Because I'm the guy who will wake up and then decide to start. I start.
Okay.
There's not even a schedule on when to start.
Absolutely.
So this place we scheduled it properly. We knew exactly where to stop for breakfast, where to stop for lunch,
Okay.
when to go for the evening snack, and all of those stuff.
Okay. That's fantastic. So after Nellore, where did you guys head off
Nellore,
to?
after Nellore, we were headed straight to Vijayawada.
Mhm.
On the way, we stopped in one more place
Okay.
called the small village called Ulavapadu.
Okay.
Ulavapadu was known for a place called Ulavapadu Biryani. I think
Okay.
highway biryani. or
the
something
highway
in
biryani
Ulavapadu.
that we.
Ulavapadu
it is-
means highway, is it?
No, Ulavapadu is a village.
Village. Okay.
So the shop I don't think had a name.
Okay.
So
there's
it said
no
highway
board or
biryani or
anything.
Ulavapadu biryani.
Okay.
So it was very, very famous for the truck
Stoppers.
drivers going
Okay,
on there.
okay, okay.
So everybody stops there. Just the parking yard could accommodate about 100-150 trucks.
Okay.
It was a very small place. I think that feel was different.
Okay.
I've never been to a restaurant like that. They had family rooms of sorts with like the old salon kind of doors. So swinging doors, you can enter and then there was
basically
a small
booths for
granite slab which can seat 6 people.
Oh wow. Okay.
apart from the communal sitting area,
Correct.
which was like a big.
It's like a dhaba, is it? Is it like a?
It's a dhaba.
It's a dhaba.
proper
It's a dhaba.
Again,
But
we got the cameras out, so we were not told to sit in the normal area. We got
Oh.
the VIP section.
Wow.
They
So
have these
you
booths
guys
so that if
post
you
as
wanna-
bloggers and got a VIP treatment, is it?
The
We didn't even
moment
have
you
to
take
post,
out
you
the
just had to pull
camera
out
and
the
they
phone.
see you with mics and all, the treatment is quite different. We hadn't. really
Like we've always been on the other side. In the sense we've had bloggers come in and we had to treat them specially and
of course,
give them great food. Now I understand why it's cool to be a blogger. I mean,
and especially in this belt, they aren't really sick of the individual food bloggers because that has also increased.
probably number of people are lesser, I'm
probably.
guessing. But
So we were treated very respectfully, and they.
I mean,
they
as
would
we go ahead, there are even better experiences of stories of how.
But I'm
we
sure
were
if you guys have disclosed that you guys are chefs, probably they'll be a little bit more wary of you guys.
Maybe. We never said we were chefs.
Okay.
All we said was just on a food trip. We just thought we'll record it so that we'll remember for the future.
Nice. Very
Nothing
nice.
more than that because they wanted to know what our channel.
Even they
names
realized we were lying.
Nothing.
In the memory thing, they were like, "Why are they there with such proper equipment?"
So, Chef Tushar, I mean, how was your experience with the highway biryani?
The highway biryani, I think we reached there at the wrong time.
Oh.
It's more popular. At least the person who had recommended it to us
Okay.
went there at night, which is where most of the trucks, I think, come
Okay.
at that time. So when we went, the biryani had gone cold, and it wasn't really compared to the other biryanis that we had throughout
The
the
bar
trip.
was quite high. So
High.
maybe if somebody goes at midnight, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, when the truckers take a break,
Okay.
that's when I think they do fresh batches of. With biryani, at least that much we realize. The hotter you eat it or straight
Or
off
the
dum,
fresher
you
it
get the
is.
experience is
Okay.
something else.
Okay. And I think, not only hotter, but also in terms of how hungry you are, right?
How
Truckers will be
hungry-
like,
but it's also because it's the third meal,
Yeah,
third lunch in
third
a single
lunch.
day.
yeah.
So maybe by the time we hit the third lunch,
And I think also because they have to price it at a level where it's affordable.
it was
to
very, very
everyone.
affordable, about 90 rupees a biryani.
So
or
cheaper
That's
cuts
90 bucks
of
for the
meat.
chicken biryani. Is
Chicken
it?
biryani, nice
yeah.
big portion of it.
A big portion of it.
So
Okay. And the rice is a basmati or?
Yes, it was not necessarily basmati. Not was it Serega Samba. It was
Okay, it's a
somewhere
hybrid
in the
in
middle. It was
between.
a hybrid variety. It was long, but
Okay.
not basmati for sure.
Okay.
And again, the one color biryani,
Yeah,
not very
again the
spicy.
same dum
Okay.
Nellore Chennai style biryani.
Okay. So,
Also, Nellore doesn't have the wet base, right? That's what I realized. In
That was,
Vijayawada,
as we go ahead, we'll see Vijayawada style of biryani is different.
Okay. So, other than the biryani, did you guys try anything else there?
No, Ulawapadu had only these 3 dishes on the menu.
Okay.
It had chicken biryani, mutton biryani, and one dish.
Wow.
That is it.
So, typical like a
Just
trucker
a dhaba,
stop.
and
Yeah.
you had a
quick
small
stop
place to
dhaba,
buy, washrooms, that's it.
Fantastic.
And then you just
fantastic.
go on.
So, this was around what time when you guys
I think
had
by the time we went there only, it was around 3:30, 4
3,
o'clock.
3:30.
4 o'clock, yeah.
Fantastic. And from there on, where do you guys head out to?
Then we headed, Vijayawada is where we were going to make the first stop. That's
Okay.
where we were going to stay.
Okay.
So we had to cross Guntur, which scheduled for another day. So
Okay.
headed straight to Vijayawada, and then we went to Sai Tiffin Shop or something. Sai
Yeah.
Tiffins.
Okay.
So the place had an all Telugu board,
Okay.
so which we couldn't
Read.
honestly read. So the only thing the auntie told us is there's a big Sai Baba picture.
Okay.
Just follow it. If you find the Sai Baba picture, walk in.
Okay.
So it was very famous. Like one of my partners from Hyderabad mentioned saying, it's not relatively unknown,
Okay.
but very, very good for evening snacks. Vijayawada has a city, at least after Calicut and all that, I've seen has a big snacking culture.
Okay.
In the sense, evening 4 to 7 o'clock, they have about, 20 varieties of bhajis and
Okay.
punuglus and so many different varieties of bhajis.
Punuglu is what? Your bonda is it? What is it?
Punuglu is bonda.
Bonda.
But small
bite-sized ones.
bite-sized bondas, and they put on podi on sauce on top. So it's like really small, like
Okay.
probably goli size.
Goli size.
So you can just
And
pop
even
like,
the eggplant.
and then we had a
Bengan.
eggplant, bengan bhaji, katrika bhaji.
Okay.
that was
like
also
the
very nice.
thin
yeah.
Japanese eggplants that they get.
Wow. Okay.
Thin long ones. Those ones like properly fried first, then put into a bhaji and
Then
served.
cut in the
cut
center
open,
and
stuffed with onion and masala and all of that.
Okay.
Like they were very innovative with their bhajis and
And very nice and light. It wasn't
Okay.
like usually when you eat pakoras and all, you
Yeah.
end up feeling heavy.
Basically, the oil sinks you in, right?
yeah. So there's not much oil in it, or
Yeah,
quite
the-
light for. It was heavy, but quite light for bhajis.
Actually quite light for because we had 3 lunches any which way. And after that we
after
went.
3 lunches, still we managed
We
to go ahead.
this was around at 4:35
5
before we were
o'clock or
heading
so,
to the hotel.
Okay.
And yeah, that was a nice evening.
Correct,
snack.
correct.
So, chef, technically speaking, for frying of bhajis, right? I mean, bhajis and bhajis are same or they're different?
Yeah, I mean,
Like
technically
same.
there's pakora.
Pakoras and-
Pakora is different, not pakora is different.
So, technically speaking, to consume less oil or to have it less oil, what is the secret behind for,
Your batter makes the most difference.
Okay.
The temperature of the oil and your
the
batter.
Yeah.
the batter?
So if the temperature of the oil isn't at the right temperature, if it's lesser, then your pakoda soaks in way more oil.
Okay.
Or if your batter is not doesn't have enough starch that can hold that oil outside, because the moment you put it in, it's supposed to form that layer that stops the oil from going out.
So, what
And
is the
rest-
perfect way actually for frying a bhaji, chef?
It's all about the temperature, I think. You heat it at the correct temperature. I mean, usually the problem is we're scared it's too hot.
Okay.
So we throw it in too early.
Okay.
So whenever we throw it in too hot, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Too hot will never soak oil, but it'll burn and not cook.
Okay.
Maybe. But too cold soaks up all the oil into it, and you get this very, I don't know, even if it crisps up eventually, it's soaked up so much oil that you cut in, it's going to be like nice and wet inside.
And the second is the
oil.
thickness of the batter.
Yeah.
If the batter is too thick, then it takes a longer time.
You're talking about consistency of the batter. Right?
Consistency of the batter. Otherwise, it remains, if it's too thick and you keep frying it, so the outside gets overcooked and the inside a lot of times has that mushiness to it.
Okay.
And if it's too thin sometimes, then the seeping of the oil issue happens.
It's all about temperature of oil. Temperature of oil, again, the problem is we overcrowd the pan also.
Absolutely.
Generally, like my mom would want to crowd as many as possible in the smallest of kadai. Because when we're doing it, I'm okay putting 10 liters of oil in a big kadai and doing it. At home, you want to put 500 ml and cook as less as possible.
Technically speaking, when in our food processing company, when we do batter frying, right? I mean, we have the batter chilled actually. So does that also make a difference in terms
like
of
Japanese do it with tempura.
Up it much better. Maybe not in the oil absorption part of it, but the Japanese technique is using a lot of ice cubes.
It also fluffs up the airiness, brings in that airiness.
Batter hitting on hot oil kind of freezes the top immediately.
Wow.
And then it goes nice and crisp and remains like...
So a lot of thermodynamics as far as frying bhaji is concerned, right?
Anything that you're putting in batter and frying cold water honestly does a better job, or it helps you.
So in the bhaji shop, did you guys have anything else other than the...
Punuglu we had mirchi bhaji, which is their cut mirchi bhaji that they do again. They fry it, cut and then refry it one more time. Cut mirchi they call it.
Double dipped and double fried, is it?
No, not double dipped. It's full bhaji. Then cut and then refried with the bhaji exposed.
Okay.
So it's crispier and smaller. And then everything was with one palli chutney, peanut chutney that was being served. Again, very, very nice. One chutney that can feed every accompaniment of sorts.
Absolutely.
So and then this thing was the most interesting.
And was there any condiments to serve the bhaji? Was like sauce?
So that one peanut chutney that they serve.
One peanut
chutney
and some
everything,
and then some onions and lemon put on the side for everything.
Okay.
Chopped onion, tomato. Yeah. Especially with the bengan one, it was on top.
The
rest was on the side.
Okay.
The brinjal bhaji was very, very... I've not had much of brinjal, but that whole brinjal
And such nicely cooked. Like it was...
it's actually a versatile dish, the brinjal. If you look at it, specifically when they're using in Mediterranean food, right?
Yeah,
it's very versatile.
One of the rare vegetables that has a flavor on its own.
Okay.
I mean, also usually vegetables take whatever flavor we give. Brinjal naturally uses out its own flavor also.
And the more crispy you fry it, I think more the sugar works and actually gives you a completely different profile.
Everything crispy fried is nice.
Okay.
I mean,
it's also the most, like foreigners really like it. So when you're working at Oberoi and all, aubergine or eggplant was the thing that struck to them as vegetarian apart from the usual stuff we do.
Okay.
So eggplant's big on... that's why a lot of the continental restaurants and the western restaurants also have a lot of
Everybody has a melanzane, parmesan on the menu.
Absolutely. So from there on, from the bhaji shop,
I think from there we said finally we need to have a break. So we kind of checked into a hotel and said 2 hours of no food.
Okay.
Just 2 hours. It's not like we're done for the day.
Of course.
So we said 2 hours of just sitting back and relaxing. And then dinner, we had scheduled a place called DV Manor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So DV Manor,
that was really highly
the first
recommended.
fancy hotel in Vijayawada.
Oh wow, okay.
Like I think right now it's a Fortune. I think Fortune is handling the DV Manor.
Okay.
So it was a hotel and their restaurant was really known for food.
Okay.
Especially one biryani called the Shahi Gosht Biryani.
Shahi Gosht Biryani, okay.
So nobody else does it, and a lot of places in Hyderabad mention Shahi Gosht Biryani and DV Manor and put them on menu as a tribute almost.
Oh wow.
So I said we're going to the original, so we're going to have to try this.
Okay.
That's when actually the biggest twist happened. So again, this is the place I think till now we didn't realize it was the cameras giving us all this access.
Okay.
The minute we enter DV Manor, which is of course a star hotel, so everybody already knows the impact of an influencer and all of that. I think we entered, straight away the manager came and said, "Sir, we'll give you the best table so you can't get disturbed by anybody."
Wow. Okay.
So he opened a section of the restaurant that was not even being used. Gave it to us saying this will be the best. And then we have chefs peeking in from the doors saying who's come there. And then the best part I liked about that part is we wanted to try 3 biryanis there.
Okay.
That are famous. One was the Shahi Gosht. One was the Ulavacharu biryani. And then one more was the Mirchi Bhaji biryani.
Stuffed bhaji biryani.
Wow.
Which I think was way more original.
Mirchi Bhaji Biryani. Wow, that's...
Yeah, they stuff it
have
with chicken keema.
version and a mutton version.
Wow.
So this Mirchi Bhaji, the Mulaga Bhaji is stuffed with chicken keema or mutton keema.
Okay.
Made into a bhaji. Then cut and made into a masala. Like that is used like meat
Oh,
as
wow.
the base.
as the
your
base for the
So
biryani,
it's like
and
a
then
meal maker biryani kind of a thing. right?
correct, but
Yeah, of course,
bhaji with meat in it,
Yeah.
and then served with the rice. All of this is called biryani, or could be a pulao also, where the rice is separate, gravy is separate. Chuma for the sake of it, they just put it together
The
and
chef
serve.
guys, I mean, the chef term
It's
they use
the-
jatka biryani, right?
That
Jatka
it's the a la carte
biryani.
pan wala biryani.
Yeah.
So, but the manager was very upfront with us, saying, "Sir, DV Manor is excellent, but there is one more branch of theirs about 1 kilometer away." He said, "Shahi Gosht ke liye, you go there.
Go
Oh,
there.
wow.
The chef there makes it better.
Okay.
Although it's on the menu here,
Okay.
he very clearly said,
Yeah,
go
that
there
means
for the
kudos
Shahi
to the
Gosht."
staff.
Yeah, they were very open about it, saying our chefs in that restaurant make it better. He said, Ulavacharu and Mirchi Bhaji is better in this restaurant.
So, Chef Tushar, just a quick question. I mean, see, the good example is about this particular place, right? I mean, they are quite an old institution. I'm sure they'll have the SOP to the finest point, right? So, why is there a difference between just two branches? They're not able to reproduce the same quality or consistency of biryani. I mean, coming from the manager themselves.
Even we were discussing that
Okay.
what I think it's the chef,
Okay.
which I think, because if it was just recipe based, then it would be easy to replicate within a kilometer, right?
Okay.
I think the chef there makes it. It also depends a lot on the chef and whether it's their recipe or not. So I think in this context, the chef there made the Shahi Gosht better.
Okay.
And these two were standardized in the DV Manor. So
Okay.
I think they keep. Also, I think it's also used so that both the restaurants get some clout.
Okay.
Otherwise, everyone would only go to the DV
So
Manor and not
strategic,
go-
strategic,
Strategic
Strategic.
placement of one dish
that you
there
divide
also.
your popular dishes so that both the restaurants get enough.
But it's
people
also
going.
possible that, I mean, as the country, what ingredients we use, I mean, we've not standardized the ingredients.
Okay.
I mean, a lot
But
of these
a branch with just 1 kilometer difference, the standardization of this one should be pretty much
should
flat.
be, but I'm saying every day also it could change. Today's green chili could be spicy, tomorrow's could be
The batch,
non-spicy. I think that's where the chef comes into the play of
Where he's able to balance.
where
the
he's able to
ingredients.
balance. I mean, if
That
the recipe called for 10
intuitiveness is required.
if
So
the recipe called for 10 green chilies and there's been no rain in the last 2-3 weeks, I'm saying your green chili is going to be spicy.
spicy.
So he should know not to put 10 that day and put 6 or 7. That is where I think the recipes have become useless at that point.
Yeah, we were discussing that yesterday. That even if you get a full recipe, I think the difference happens is whoever's recipe it is has an idea of intuitiveness that comes with, okay, if this element doesn't exactly come the way we expected, this is what you have to change about it. But if somebody else that doesn't have an idea or it's not their recipe, when they're replicating a recipe, they try to go like very to the point, which takes away the intuitiveness. And I think that is also a very important part of cooking, right? That you have to put in a little bit of your personality and your
Because
idea.
ultimately we've all wanted to standardize the recipe and
Yeah, that's
ensure
the easy way for doing the business. But
Correct.
when it comes to food, right, it's something very personal, something very close to the heart.
Yeah.
So I would say that if recipe is the soul, right, the guy who's preparing the food, the chef, right? I mean, the personal touch he brings to that particular recipe
Can't be matched.
makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, he's
in
the
terms of
medium.
the-
So if
he's
this is the soul, then
yeah, this
he's
is the
the
body.
medium.
then.
Yeah.
So coming together only, I think produces. So coming to the biryani, tell us about your experience.
So again, so the first place, 2 biryanis alone.
Okay.
The problem again is as you start crossing Nellore, portion sizes start becoming ridiculous.
Okay. As in
I
bigger.
mean, very big.
Okay.
Okay, like one biryani is easily touching 1 kilo.
Wow.
Like at least 750 grams.
So is it meant to be shared, or is it like, what is the idea?
I
behind
think
it?
it's
I
still
am
sharing.
no, but I think that's the Delhi guy speaking. But
That much rice.
I was told guys can individually eat one biryani.
A kilo of biryani.
No, because DV Manor was fine dining, maybe he gave us 750 grams.
Okay.
Slightly lesser portions because he couldn't give this bigger. But going forward, there are restaurants where we had to split one biryani into 3 plates and
3.
each of them was one full portion.
Wow.
That big. But yeah, so we ordered for the Mirchi Bhaji biryani and the Ulavacharu
Yeah.
chicken. So I think we had the Ulavacharu mutton and the Mirchi Bhaji chicken biryani.
Okay.
So first I think we had the Mirchi Bhaji
Which I
biryani,
think was
which
way
Tushar
more
loved.
original than Shahi Gosht. You see some variations of Shahi Gosht as Safed Pulao or
Yakni
Yakni
biryani and all
Pulao
that.
and that. But the Bhaji biryani was the first time I had heard of it,
Okay.
and the execution was really on point.
Okay.
They had cooked the meat, it wasn't overcooked. You actually got the flavor of the chili and the meat throughout the biryani. And this was again the base being wet, and on top was
Yeah, so it's basically rice that they've made separately on a dum. So you get a layer of the rice and the gravy made in the pan into it, and one more layer of rice. But then the part I liked about the dish was it was not done for the sake of being done. Usually it's innovation done for the sake of being innovative. This one actually made sense. I'm saying nobody can imagine molaga bhaji in a gravy to make sense. But it all came together. I'm saying it came together as a beautiful dish. Nice small big piece. I mean, it was nice plump pieces but smaller ones.
So chef, I know it's a wrong question for me to ask, or rather it might come across offensive. Will you guys be able to recreate the dish which you just experienced?
So again, we've taken inspiration, yes.
Okay.
We
But
can
not the same.
get inspired, and I try my best not to recreate any dishes.
Okay.
It's very difficult trying to recreate, but whatever I think, a mirchi bhaji biryani I'd love to do.
Love to do.
A shahi gosht biryani we'd love to do.
Love to do.
So
And you can
something soon coming around for mirchi bhaji biryani,
Keep it.
and quite a few things that our chefs have tried. So let us look towards for that. And a very important question. I'll ask Chef Tushar first, then I'll
Yes.
ask Chef
Yes.
Vignesh first. So Chef Tushar, I already probably have already imagined the answer. I just want to recheck again from a chef's perspective. So what is the ideal choice of protein for the biryani for you to really command it as a biryani? Is it chicken or is it mutton? What is your yardstick?
I think since I'm not a eater and I haven't really tried, traditionally I think mutton is the preferred choice, or was the preferred choice.
Okay.
Even when we were learning recipes initially, they were more mutton based, or the flavor imparting to the rice is better in mutton,
Okay.
because you have all that gelatin. If you're using like if it's with bone biryani,
Okay.
boneless biryani has become a thing again, right?
Okay, yes.
Which takes away from the overall flavor of the
part,
biryani.
yes.
But yeah, if you're keeping that in check, then I think mutton traditionally was the preferred choice. Now I think chicken has become more popular, because across the board more people eat chicken. So you find chicken biryani there, but I would say mutton does a better job in overall giving the body to the biryani.
Absolutely.
Better.
And Chef Vignesh, what is your?
Mutton. He's just given us the typical chef answer for this.
Okay.
Saying, I'll tell you mutton. That's it. There's nothing else, I
mutton is
think.
the traditional
No, that's what I'm
better
saying.
one.
Mutton
Is it because that mutton can probably constitute more towards a fat content?
as simple as
and,
that. Biryani needs fat to be tasty.
Okay.
So it's a matter of, do I add a liter of refined oil to compensate it
Okay.
in a chicken biryani,
Hmm.
or just put in the enough mutton fat in it? Or without fat, without that biryani being sticky on my hands, or without it clumping together,
The marrow
there's no
coming
point
out
of the
when you're using
biryani itself. Chicken biryani is nice, yes, but mutton is biryani, I think.
Okay.
The OG has to be mutton.
The OG is mutton. Now more popular, I think, is you find chicken biryani.
Again, bone on mutton. There's a lot of this boneless mutton also happening.
Okay.
I think mutton biryani has to be fat on, bone on.
Absolutely.
That's the whole point of it, right?
Correct.
When you're cooking it.
That's good. So we'll continue discussing about it. Take a break. We'll take a break.
All right.
So yeah, I didn't apparently sign off. So I have to sign off. So that concludes our first day, or rather the episode 1 of our podcast. So stay tuned for more. We'll hear more from Chef Vignesh and Chef Tushar on their adventures or misadventures for this particular road trip. And stay tuned for more. Cheers.